Welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Radio Show on Jandu Radio. The show is about conversations that matter, and we invite people from all walks of life to come and share their very special heart stories. Because when it comes to inspiration, we like to hear from people who've been through, the walk. They talk the walk, and we are about being inspired. We're about being uplifted through these incredible sharings. So we have a woman on the line who is in the trenches. She's working frontline to combat poverty in Toronto. Please put together your hands for Marie Moulton to the show. How are you doing today, Anne-Marie?
I'm doing well. I'm so happy to be on the show with you, Nikki.
Thank you very much. And we were together not too long ago on the stage of the Nikki Clarke Show, and you just endeared so many people to your story. You're really an inspiration. So let's go back and talk a little bit about your background leading up to what you're doing today.
Okay. So I'll go back as far as, honing my own passion. I'm a mother to begin with. I have a beautiful daughter that is just the reason for my everything that I do. She totally inspired me to just be the woman that I am and to create a ripple effect. I actually, I'm from the Caribbean. I was born in Jamaica. I grew up here in Canada. Spent most of my life here. This is home for me, but of course, my roots is from Jamaica. I believe yours is too, Nikki. And
yes, it is. We have that in common.
More power to us. Yeah, and I grew up in a place as a little girl in a society where, you've seen the clear difference between those who have and those who didn't have. And I was fortunate enough to, have families around me that were doing pretty well. But despite that, I needed to find out the value of who I am, why I'm here, what was my purpose. And as young as I was as a little girl, it strikes me like I didn't understand the fullness of what it means to have purpose, but I knew I started to dig into my passion. I've always loved writing. I've always, I'm an avid reader, and I've always cared for others. And I think when I started, when I came to Canada and I started to grow up, going to school, doing everything, it started to really ignite me more that maybe I'm here for something bigger than what I thought, because I started to be pulled towards the things that my friends didn't really care about. Like, I wanted to volunteer in shelters. I wanted to be involved in community stuff. And I started to really, really pursue that. And so I studied social work, and it really manifested for me the passion and the desire within me to make a difference and to really use my life for something larger than myself. And it has been a journey. My whole trajectory has been around that, is through finding my own path, is raising up the consciousness of others, especially women, to hone their passion and to find their path and to live out their passion loudly and to be great, because this is why we're here, to be great.
Absolutely. And we have a short time to use our talents and to really share our greatness with everyone. So that is fantastic that you understood your purpose very early in life, and even in the environment that you're in, and you spoke about your peers not tapping into that knowledge that you had early. It's amazing how you were put on a very special path, and for me that only sounds like you had a divine connection very early, guiding you. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that, and I'm so happy that you touched base on that, because if it's one thing that I've always been conscious of, it's my faith. I grew up in a household too where faith was a necessity. Faith was practice. And I think that's what happened to me earlier on in my own life, too, is the fact that I was exposed to faith at a point in my life when I was a little girl and didn't really understand this God and who God is and what that meant, but I knew there was something bigger than myself. I knew that there was a purpose to life because I was pointed to that understanding. And I think as I get older, as I started to grow up, I started to understand this value of faith more. And to be honest, I am only who I am because I believe. I am only who I am because I know that I was created with purpose. I am only who I am because I know God has a plan for my life. And I echo that loudly, and I do not say that with any shame to that. I actually say that with every bit of understanding in me, that without that knowledge of who God is, I would never come into the understanding of who I am. So really, at the end of the day, it's all due to God, who has constantly guided me and constantly reminded me and constantly proved and showed me that I am here. I've showed up for something larger than myself, which is to fulfill his will and his purpose for my life.
Absolutely. Fantastic. So now you're at a place where you have this divine alignment, and you understand that your purpose in life is of moving people forward. And you are working now, you have a great position working in the city, and you find yourself working on issues of poverty. How does that happen, and who are affected by these issues of poverty? Who typically are the clients that come to you?
Typically, it's we know that poverty doesn't really have a face. It's just like for me, after being an advocate for youth homelessness for over 16 years, I have served in that capacity, and it has really helped to shape my perspective around social justice. And outside of my formal studies in social work and understanding, the whole understanding around that is the practical work that I've done over the years on dealing with youth homelessness and advocating and bringing awareness around that. And so poverty has always been, at the forefront of my work, of why I do what I do. And so when I got the opportunity to get involved in city work, helping to inform the Poverty Reduction Strategy Office, that was like a huge deal for me, because now I was going to get the opportunity to do what I've always wanted to do, which was to look at policies and to be able to inform that and to be able to speak to issues that affect the marginalized, the marginalized, and to affect people who are disadvantaged and people who are voiceless and people who are sucked into a system that locks them into a state of poverty where they can't seem to have a way out. And that's because there's hardly anyone sitting at the table informing the conversation around poverty. And so that brought me to the table, and I am so grateful again how God has been ordering my steps. And I am now able to reach out and to be part of a conversation bigger than myself, a conversation which involved, helping to raise the consciousness and helping to advocate for people in our great city. This is a beautiful city in spite of what, is going on. It is an amazing city, and, probably if not the first, one of the third country in the whole world with all the resources that we have, and yet still we have poverty sitting just outside our doors. And so when I'm there, I speak on the behalf of the homeless youth. I speak on behalf of disadvantaged women. I speak on behalf of refugees. I speak on the behalf of those who are on the really in the trenches of our society, that are there and feeling that they don't have any way out. I am there as a voice to say, look, these people do exist, and we need to do something for them.
Absolutely. Well, I am so grateful for what you do. I applaud all your efforts. It's not always easy, But I know with the supports around you, and I know with God in your life, all things are possible. So how has your life been transformed through this this work you do, through the connections you have with a higher power? How has it made your life the way it is?
It certainly transformed my own life. I mean, looking back in hindsight and just looking at where I'm at right now, I too have had to deal with difficulties in my own life, and whether that is losing, my dad, I'm an only child, or whether it's watching, women go through certain crises and in their own life, or dealing with my own personal issues, or just around families who are dealing with tough times too. The transformation really starts with us, and my transformation starts with me. I have, managed to, like I said, grow up in a society where, all too often we hear just because you're black, just because you're a woman, just because you're this, you can't do that, the limitations. And I go against those beliefs, all those limiting beliefs. They don't exist for me. For me, is I can do all things through Christ who give me the strength. I am a woman, but I am a woman with understanding. I am a woman with passion. I'm a woman with purpose. I'm a woman with vision. And so I do not let the circumstances of my life define me. I know it's what I do with the things that, come against me, or the challenges that I face. Those are the things that I need to, propel me, to the next goal, or to encourage me and inspire me to be great, And so I take my curveballs, because we all get them. I don't think there's anyone in this life who have not had to overcome difficulties in their lives. But oftentimes the way I look at it for myself is that as a woman, I understand that we go through things that are painful and traumatic, and sometimes unjust or unfair and difficult, to say the least. But for the most part of it, we get up. And we get out of that headspace, and we do the inner work. We work on ourselves, and we ask ourselves, why are we going through this again? And the answer is usually in the pain itself. And I realized for me, pain has always been one of my biggest source of inspiration to move it forward and to do greater things. You don't stop at that. You start being super conscious of who you are in those difficult times, and when you're facing those difficult periods in your life. And you tell yourself, I am a winner. I am winning. I am a winner, and I am winning. And it's okay to fail. I've been there, done that. And as long as we fail up, as long as we are reminded of who we are, you understand that I was born to do great things. I was born in greatness. You know what I mean? That I have everything on the inside to create what I want on this outside. Everything is doable. Nothing is impossible. I am empowered to win. And so I don't view this power as a physical thing as much as I view it as an authentic power that cannot be taken from me. It's a power that I have, that I've showed up in this life to use to serve the world and to serve for my greater good and the greater good of others. It's the core of who I am. So, I am a winner. It's why I'm here.
You are.
I am an overcomer. It's why I live. Like, I am who I am, and I am phenomenal. I am that phenomenal woman. And it's important that you know who you are, that you're fearfully and you're wonderfully made, and you are someone special, because God don't create no junk. And you don't let your circumstances in life define you. You know that it's what you do with all of that ultimately will give you a definition. And so I am a winner. I am a winning woman. That's who I am.
I love it. From one phenomenal woman to the next, I really appreciate your time and your views. I love you too. You are, you are guiding so many people into stepping into their power. As I find there's a phobia. There's something that keeps people stuck in where they are. It's because they do not feel that they deserve to be in places where they are. So it's a beautiful thing to have someone like you who enables people to say it's okay to be powerful and it's okay to step into greatness. So thank you very much for your message, and thank you for everything you do in the community. And how can people reach out to you, Anne-Marie?
You can reach out to me. I'm on Instagram at Jewel, JEWL _Anne-Marie, one word. So you can go there and you'll see me on Instagram. And I'm on Facebook. I've always been on Facebook. I'm just inspiring, empowering, and motivating people. My Facebook account is Marie Moulton. My last name is Moulton, Moulton. And you can reach me on my email, amoulton@rogers.com, and my phone number that you can reach me at. Like, it's open to you if you want to speak to me further. Any of my services. It's 416-522-9204. You can reach me at any of those. I will be available.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. You've been listening to the Nikki Clarke Radio Show with a very special guest, Anne-Marie Moulton. You've got to reach out to her. Contact her on social media. She is a powerful woman who inspires people to step into their own greatness. So, Anne-Marie, again, it is always a pleasure to listen to you, and I just encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nikki. You take care.
Okay, bye-bye now.
Bye.